Everyone, happy Tuesday. Please join me as I give you updates on your news of the week in the immigration world and as we anxiously await the Supreme Court dropping the decision on birthright citizenship, which I do anticipate could occur during this live stream because they drop at around this time and today is the last day of the session and this is one of the remaining cases to be issued. So we'll see. I'm going to guess that birthright citizenship remains and that it's a 7-2 decision. That's going to be my guess. Anybody else want to place a bet, place a guess with me? What are you guys thinking is going to happen? Let's hope that our Constitution and our democracy survives this live stream, shall we? So I'm back. Hello, I'm back. Last week, I decided to take a break, not from the news. I was still aware of what was going on, but I wasn't doing my live streams or my shows because I was on a bike trip in Acadia National Park in Maine with my dad. And we went with a touring company called VBT Tours, and they supply your bike and they do all the trails for you. And there was a group of about 18 people and we rode our bikes through the parks, and it was very full of nature and relaxing, and I had a great time. And I'm here now, and it's Tuesday, which means I'm speaking to you in English, and we are talking about the news that has occurred, and I'll cover the last week while we're still waiting. I have my team behind the cameras right now, and they've promised that they will flag me if the decision drops, and so we will pivot when that occurs. As a reminder, my name is Kate, Lincoln-Goldfinch. I'm an immigration lawyer in Texas. I've been doing this work for 20 years. Me and my team, our focus is on bringing and keeping immigrant families together. We are a team of 15 lawyers. Everybody's focused on our clients and their families and bringing justice for immigrants. So that's who I am. That's who we are. And the show every week is a live show to answer your live questions about what's happening, about your cases, and also to update you on news items. So we've had several Supreme Court. We're at the Supreme end of the term of the Supreme Court. And so around this time in June, the Supreme Court will, or the end of June, drop their decisions. So they've heard oral arguments all term. And we get some indication of the way the cases are going during the oral arguments, and then they issue their written decisions in the full cases, usually by the end of the term. And so we've had this sort of trickle out of decisions that have come in, and the way that the Supreme Court has been ruling, especially in the realm of immigration, has made people feel a little more and more on edge. So there have been several decisions of late that have gone the way of the Trump administration. One is a decision from last week, at the end of last week, on a case surrounding temporary protected status, or TPS, for people from Haiti and Syria. These are only 2 of 17 countries that currently have TPS. Haiti has had it since 2010. Syria, I don't know the date of inception, but within the last 10 years for sure. And the Trump administration canceled TPS for these 2 nations and many others. And there has been a lot of litigation in the federal courts over whether the administration can revoke temporary protected status, especially in light of very racist comments that the administration has made, particularly about Haitians. So, of course, Trump in the debate said that Haitians were eating pets. They've said just horrific and offensive things about Haitian people in general. And that was a big part of the case. Like, when it's so clear that these decisions to cancel TPS are not based on the restabilization of those nations, but rather the administration's hatred of the people of those nations, then they shouldn't be allowed to revoke protection for those people. And I think that's a very valid argument, but the Supreme Court is pretty conservative, and they decided in the favor of the Trump administration. So that decision impacts Haitians and Syrians right now who, as we speak, are on their last day of work permission. And we're talking about a population of over 300,000 people in this country, 350,000 or so. And by and large, a lot of Haitian TPS holders work in healthcare, specifically elder care and home health care. A lot of Haitian people, for whatever reason, have gone into nursing and nursing homes and taking care of the elderly in their homes. That is a big part of what Haitian people do in this country. And the immediate revocation of their work permits is going to have devastating effects on the U.S. citizens whom they are caring for, right? The people that they're taking care of are going to be the people who suffer, the facilities that employ these people, the communities that rely on them, and of course, the Haitian communities themselves are going to be suffering some immediate consequences. But this decision also is going to apply to TPS holders from other countries. We have coming up, El Salvador is coming up, and Ukraine is coming up in the next couple of months for revocation or renewal. We know that the Trump administration is, in all likelihood, is going to revoke, and there will be no court review over these revocations. And so my message to TPS holders is the same that it's been. Your status is at risk. It is likely to be revoked, and revoked very quickly. From one day to the next, you may not have a work permit, which means you could lose your job, which means you could lose your housing. So it is really important not to wait until a decision happens. But now, when you know that there's something brewing, you consult with an immigration lawyer that you trust. You are welcome to DM me for a consultation. We are still offering free consultations at my law firm, and we will explore with you whether we can help you in a confidential setting. That's the thing about going to a lawyer. Not only do you get individualized attention, but also it's confidential. That's part of our ethical code. We cannot disclose anything that you tell us unless you're planning to go out there and murder somebody or harm someone or commit a crime, and you tell us about your plan. We have to reveal that. But otherwise, what you tell your lawyer is sacrosanct. It's confidential, and we can't be compelled to tell anyone. We can't be deposed or forced to testify about what you've told us. And that is a protection for you. So go to a lawyer, tell them the truth, find out what you can do if you are in TPS as soon as you can. We have another decision about, this case is called Mullen versus Al Otro Lado, which is a decision around whether asylum seekers who come to the border can be turned away. And the ultimate decision was yes. This is a decision that basically reinforces what we've seen in practice for years, frankly, from some during the Obama administration, definitely during Trump 1.0, some during Biden, absolutely during Trump 2.0. So for the last 4 presidential administrations, we've seen a turn back of people at the border who are asylum seekers. And the Supreme Court has finally weighed in and said, we are allowing the administration to do this. I have strong feelings about this as someone who's worked with thousands of asylum seekers over the years. And the statute says that an asylum seeker has to be in this country. And we have done not a good job processing and respecting asylum applications over the years. But the Supreme Court has basically told the Trump administration, go ahead, do whatever you want to do. And these decisions where the Supreme Court in the last week or so has handed the power and the control back to the Trump administration on decisions around immigration is what is making everybody feel like a little nervous about birthright citizenship. But here's the difference. When you're talking about TPS, this is a temporary protected status that is within the purview of the executive branch to make decisions about. And I think that reasonable minds could differ on whether the president can revoke TPS. I think that reasonable minds could differ on turning away asylum seekers at the border. Now, I feel strongly about these things, but I'm just saying I could see how a court could go either way, especially a conservative court. I don't think that that is true about the Constitution. I think that even a conservative court is not going to disrespect the Constitution so much that it would allow the administration to cancel the 14th Amendment by executive order. I just don't think this court is going to do that. So even though it's very valid to be nervous right now, I still am hopeful. I'm an eternal optimist, so take all that with a grain of salt, but that's where I'm sitting at this moment, checking my phone going, have they freaking dropped this decision yet? What's happening? No, I don't see anything. So I'll keep talking about other things. Okay, this is another big news. This wasn't a Supreme Court decision, but this was an appellate court decision from the D.C. Circuit Court. So this is the federal appellate court over the D.C. Circuit Court. So this is a very powerful, probably I would say the second most powerful court in the nation, the Supreme Court and then the D.C. Circuit. I mean, there's circuits. There's the Fifth Circuit where we sit, which oversees Texas and Louisiana, and there's circuit courts. But the D.C. Circuit hears all the cases coming out of Washington, which is why I say they're the second most powerful. And this case is about expedited removal. So let me back up a bit. When the election happened and all of us advocates were like, expedited removal, they're expanding expedited removal. There's an executive order. They're going to try and fast track deport everyone who's been in the country for less than 2 years. And in the early days, we were talking about gathering 2 years of physical presence evidence. Do you remember any of that? And then we kind of all stopped talking about that 2 years of physical presence. That's because there was a court order from the federal court in D.C. blocking the expansion of expedited removal, which allows immigration to deport people who have been here for less than 2 years. So we kind of haven't been talking about the 2 years of evidence. But the D.C. Circuit Court overruled the lower federal court and allowed the expansion of expedited removal. That's a lot of jargon. But essentially what that means is now DHS can deport people who have been in the country for less than 2 years without due process, meaning arrest, deport. No right to an attorney, no right to a hearing, no right to a phone call even necessarily unless you call your own consulate. Like, it happens fast. And so we're back to what we were saying in the beginning, which is have your 2 years of physical presence evidence at the ready, because it's up to you in that moment. They say within a reasonable time frame, whatever that means, to be able to prove that you've been here for longer than 2 years. Meaning you don't want to be looking for the evidence after you've been detained. Okay. So now if you are undocumented and you've been in the country for longer than 2 years, get your physical presence evidence ready. That means mortgage payments, rent receipts, check stubs, IRS, medical records, birth certificates of kids, other receipts, phone bills, gym membership, any document that has your name and a location and a date inside the United States will serve as physical presence evidence. And what I would do is go back, let's say, you've been here since 1998. Get the big things since 1998. Get your high school diploma. Get your vaccination records. Get your school transcript. Get your marriage certificate, right? Like all these sort of big milestone things for going back. And then in the last 2 years, go ahead and print out all your bank statements since January of 2024. And then just have those, put them all in a folder, in a safe folder where your emergency contact knows how to get them. They know it's like in that purple accordion file under my bed, and they know how to get into your house, and they could go get it at any time. But also what I want you to do is take a picture of each of these documents and create an album in your phone that you always have, so that if you're being processed, you can say, I have my evidence in digitally, and my emergency contact can get it to you, because you need to be that ready with your expedited removal proof. And this is a really, really important thing. And I'll tell you, I pay attention to like how my videos perform to look at what you guys want to hear me talk more about. I'm going to tell you, when I start saying the words expanded expedited removal, you tune out. The expedited removal is not an attention grabbing duo of words. Okay, fair. And I cannot stress enough how important it is that you guys listen to this advice, because so many people after this decision are going to be deported without due process because they don't have their 2 years of presence, even if they've been here for 10 years. But if you can't prove it, that officer is going to be like, well, burden was on you and you didn't give me my evidence within a reasonable time frame, and you're out of here. And once you're gone, almost nothing we can do about it. So please listen to me, even though expedited removal sounds boring. Please listen to me and collect evidence of 2 years and have it ready. This is urgent and important. Let's talk about some good news. A federal judge has barred ICE from making arrests in the immigration courts. This is a New York Times article. So Casey Pitts from U.S. District Court in the Northern District of California said that federal officials have violated a key statute governing administrative procedures when they changed previous guidelines that restricted civil arrests inside immigration courthouses. So I will say anecdotally that we have not seen a lot of immigration court arrests. And it could be because they're following this decision, or that they prefer to just pick people up at check-ins, or they're doing enough arrests through these traffic stops. Wait, did it come out? Oh, wait. Okay. I think this is good news. Okay, hold on. Hold, please. SCOTUS blog. Live chat. Come on, load. Birthright citizenship. The court strikes down the executive order. Woo! This is amazing. Our democracy remains. Oh. Oh my God. Yay. We can relax and worry about other things today. Okay. Oh, the court holds that the order violates the 14th Amendment. Do you think? 6-3, Kavanaugh concurs, dissents in part. Barrett makes the wild card majority with the chief. 6-3. So I said 7-2. Sotomayor, Kagan, Barrett, Jackson, Roberts join the decision in full. Oh, y'all. Okay, hold on. I'm getting a call from my social media manager. You're on speaker. Woo!
Oh my God. It should not have been that fucking close. You got it. Oh my fucking God. I hate them all so much.
You're live, by the way.
It's the motherfucking World Cup. Oh my God. Okay, I need you to finish that so you can send me a video.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
Okay, you know what? She's right. I'm going to have to wait. Hold on. Is there anything else I want to tell you guys before I log off? Oh, okay. I've got one question. I'm going to answer your question, Rain, and then I'm going to tell you guys action tip, and then I got to go do videos. And I'm certain that there will be a lot of media interviews, and I got to read this decision. But hallelujah, hallelujah, the Supreme Court has not entirely lost their damn minds. Okay. Rain Patana, overstayed since 2004, F1, married U.S. citizen. You should file. You should definitely file. Heard a lot of news about denials and lots of denials. Your case is one that would be appealed if it got denied. And what you need to do is just a lot of positive discretion. So work with a lawyer, DM me if you want a consult. We'll help you prepare a packet that will get you over the hump. And a lot of this will be like specific to where you are and what's happening at different field offices. But if you work with a good lawyer, you should be all right. Okay, let's talk about action item of the week. Can we support our Venezuelans? It's horrific. The earthquake, the rubble. It's just, if you've consumed any of that content, your heart is breaking. And our Venezuelan community needs our love and support and donations. So if you want to donate money, there's a website, donarseguro.com, which is to donate safely, donarseguro.com. There's an awesome Venezuelan association that you can find out. And then there's a cool Venezuelan restaurant that has become like a hub for donating and being in community and going to see your Venezuelan friends. It is called Fogonero. I've been there several times, done even some shows there. It's on in Pflugerville, and then just follow me and we'll be posting more of this. But yay, let's go celebrate birthright citizenship. Let's support our Venezuelan friends, and I hope you guys have a great Tuesday. Love you very much. Nos vemos el jueves en español. Bye.